One of the things I've really been wanting to do for a while is to really just go through this book I wrote. It's I wrote it in pencil, and it's a book about finding your own truth, sitting in your own presence. We live in a time right now that offers a lot. Right now, we're in a time that offers a lot of entertainment for the mind. It offers a lot to give the mind to chew on. So, you very much may feel like you have placed your foot upon a raft and you're just going out on this river and just moving, 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 and it's just taking you, taking you, taking you out in thoughts. Some of you have perhaps, over the past couple of years, maybe lost jobs, have had their entire career changed. Perhaps you've lost family. You may have lost financial securities. Life has changed so much. And with this, what happens is you get to a place where you can't think outside of it. You can't think your way out of this anymore. We no longer live in a society where you can think, work, create, and do. The egoic system that has been there is now shattering. And what is opening up is something that's always been there. And what that is it's peace, it's grace, it's unbounded presence. It's time to lock in and have a relationship and be this complete wholeness at all times, in every moment of your day. It's time to say, I am this divine open presence. So when you ask the question, who am I and what is here? The answer can be heard in stillness. And the stillness is what you are. So I'll begin with some writings. So we have a lot of words and stories that support the me story that's out there. When I say the me story is the story of Mike. Mike, what job is Mike doing? How are Mike's kids? What is Mike going to be doing tomorrow? What is Mike going to do today? How can we improve Mike? And we have all of these stories that are given to us, and we follow these stories and we try to add to them, and then we create more and more. We feel sad or depressed, and suddenly the Mike story becomes colored with sadness and depression. We feel happy and loving, and suddenly the Mike story becomes full of happiness and loving. The Mike story is just a story. This entire story disappears the moment that you fall asleep. And then another story opens up. And then that story seems very real. And then that story disappears. And then this story opens up. So what is real? What is real? What is real is the boundless essence that carries itself as a cup between the night story and the day story. The boundless essence is who you truly are. So it's time we now drop into that and we let go into that. And by letting go, do we let go by just saying, okay, well, that's it, I'm going to quit my job and go live in a cave? No, that's not the answer. You can let go while you work. You can let go while you raise a family. You can let go while you sit having tea with friends. The act of letting go is really living in the heart. It's about sitting and hearing the stillness. It's about changing the senses. And I talk about this a lot. So these senses will change. You will now walk through the world as the I am, I amness. Walk through the world as the presence, as oneness, as love. Walk through the world as your centered, open soul. And when you hear something, you listen and you hear the stillness and the silence in every single sound. And when you look at something, you look at the clearness appearing as everything. The open clearness is what you are, and it forms and appears. An appearance is something that looks to be something. It's something that shows up, and it shows up out of this consciousness. Everything shows up out of this consciousness. This is walling, consciousness walling. This is consciousness penciling. And then when you touch, you feel emptiness within everything. You feel the emptiness appearing as something. And then you realize that the entire world is an illusion, just as your dreams are illusion, and that the only truth in all of this is this boundless, endless you. So how do we completely erase the stress and the problems and the thoughts and the worry? How do we do that? How do we completely erase the whole me story? So the only way to really do that is to be wholeness. It's just you attach yourself as wholeness. I am wholeness. And it's by looking deeply at yourself. It's by sitting and just being. I am this. And you can look at anything. You can close your eyes if you want to. You can meditate. There's no wrong way. And you just say, what is here? This wholeness. Why is it that we feel so good if we go and sit on the beach by ourselves? Because when you sit there, you're not a character. You don't have to hold up anything. But then why is it when we're out with a group of friends, it can be stressful? And that's because you're holding up a character. So you are the grandest actor in this. And have we spent time completely playing the character out to a point where we can drop the hat and the mask and the coat and step off stage? And as an actor, sit and say, what is my natural state? It's not anything. It is nothing being everything, and everything being nothing. It's that simple. So wholeness will completely erase the me and the me story. It overtakes the mind to a point where the thoughts of a separate mind ceases to exist. So the wholeness will just be there, and here is wholeness here. Now where is the entire me story and the mind? It's not in this. It's just wholeness is appearing. And the mind sort of fades and sits on the very edges of all of this. And yet the mind is made of wholeness too. Wholeness becomes everything that is happening. So everything that is taking place is wholeness. And the amount of liberation that comes from this is immense. You're completely liberated. You're liberated as an endless, boundless being. And this is what everyone is. This is what you have always been. This is what you are right now. In this very moment, second, as you listen to this, you feel it. This is who you are. And you know this. So this becomes realized. The wholeness becomes realized. It's felt and it's known and it's witnessed that the world does not exist. It is nothing but energy. So how can you say the world does not exist? Well, go explore it piece by piece by piece until you find it. Go up and take a tree and touch a tree. Put your hand upon a tree. You will get to a place where you won't feel your hand or the tree. There won't be a separation between your hand and a tree. There'll just be energy there. So you go touch the tree and say, well, the tree is the world. Okay, let's take a look at that. The hand and the tree, what's the difference? And you'll say, well, there's just an energy there. At some point, there'll be no difference. You're sitting right now in a chair, absolutely sitting in a chair. It's that act is just nothing but energy appearing as you sitting on a chair. Do you feel your feet on the ground as a separation from the ground? Or are they just energy that's there? So you take the world piece by piece by piece and explore it, you will find that there really is no separation between you, your open present energy, and every object that you come across. And this is liberation. The rest of the world is thoughts. They're thoughts. What should I be doing tomorrow? What about Russia and Ukraine? What's happening over there? We worry about these things. Okay, are you there? Are you looking at it? You're seeing it on TV. And again, look at those things too that come to us. They just appear. Is it actually in front of you? Are you sitting there in front of someone? Okay, and even if you were, would there not be peace there? Even if you're sitting there in that place on the front line and someone was standing there with a gun to your head or something, you could ask the question, what is here? And you would find the answer is an open presence of energy and peace appearing as this right now. This is how amazing and beautiful life is and who we are. Now, once it's seen that you are this open presence and that you are this wholeness, then all the stories that were associated with the me will dissolve. There'll be just this. You'll just have this, and you'll go about your day. Things will just happen. Movements will take place. And the me, it can be returned. Now, you can have the me story. You can still hold on to it. One of the biggest worries I always had, even back when I was studying different things, I was getting into Reiki. I'm like, okay, if I learn Reiki, am I going to change? Am I going to not have this manly egoic control into the world? And will I not be able to just still work and do as well as I can? I was worried about that. And then once I learned Reiki, which is really just a realization of energy, I realized that, wow, I could do all the things I was doing before, but now with much more power and much more truth and much more of a seeing of a presence appearing as all of these things. And so then everything became boundless. I then went and worked at a sales firm doing sales, and I did extremely well. And people said, how do you do this? I said, because every person that I touch and see and talk to is me. It's just this emptiness appearing as everyone. One being patterning as everything. And so I was able to then incorporate this wholeness into a character as well, but now the character has changed. So it's similar to as a story. You're up on stage and you're playing a character in a play, and maybe you're playing the villain or something like that. And I pull you off stage and say, okay, you're not really that character. You do know that. And you go, yeah, you're just playing that. Okay. And then I'll say, well, now what are you bringing to the character? And you say, well, I play the character as much as I can. And I would add, well, not only play the character, but bring your soul into it. Bring the peace that you are into it. Bring the emptiness and the silence and the stillness into the character to make it very, very much alive and felt and real. And so then you go back up on stage, and instead of just spitting out your lines, bop, 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 like this, to support the idea of the play, you now go back up on stage, and with every line you take a breath and you offer stillness. Your words become something that the audience will turn their head to hear and sense their body to know, because you're speaking from a place and living from a place of pure divine. And when this happens, then you're supported by all of life. Always. Because when this happens, everything that takes place, no matter what it is, good or bad, you look at it and you can see the stillness and the silence and the open presence appearing as that. You can see the divinity in everything that takes place. And then you're living completely as wholeness. I'll do one more thing, one more reading here. So how to live fully is as what is happening. How do we live fully as what is happening? What do we do? Do we sit and meditate all day? I wake up in the morning and I like to reboot into the quietness so that it's felt throughout the day. And then I take moments throughout the day and I look for it, and it automatically just starts appearing. I may be talking to someone and I look at a chair across the room and I just see the presence in that. So how to live fully in what is happening. And here's the thing, even if you're not living fully in what is happening and you think you're not, you actually are. It's kind of interesting. So you can't really live more fully because you already are. It's like saying to a drop of water, you need to live as more wetness as water. The drop of water would say, what? How does that work? So things happen, like a bike ride happens automatically. Brain movements happen. And after all of these things are done, this thought comes up that says, I did this, but actually everything just appears. So life is fully, fully, fully moving everything through you. Just like this talk. I've been talking for 18 minutes now. And I have a few words I was going to put together and some concepts, but yet everything just flows through you. Your most amazing days are the ones you don't try. So your most powerful energy is going to be just simply offering beingness and wholeness into this mystical illusion. Paint it out into everything. I'll end there. Thank you.